Now we're on to final exam review 3. Please remember, all of these sheets are similar because these are the kinds of concepts that you need to know for your final exam. Are they exactly the same? No. But for instance, if you take a look at number 3, you will see one of those two type of questions in some way, shape, or form. I might give you the bracket and ask which graph. I might give you the graph and ask which bracket notation. I might ask which interval notation. Something about it will be in there. So that is how the review sheets are stacked up. Everything you need to know on that test is either on these sheets or I will mention it to you verbally as we review these sheets. Number 1, 11 less than 3 times a number. Less than, more than, last shall be first, first shall be last, switch order. That's 3n minus 11. 3 more than twice a number, that's 2n plus 3, because you switch order. 3 goes to the end, twice a number goes to the beginning. The sum of twice a number and 1. So there's twice a number and 1, the sum, add. Twice the sum of a number and 1. So first you have to do the sum of a number and 1. The parentheses, make sure you do that first, then multiply by 2 for twice. Solve for C means get C by itself. I subtract the 6D, I divide by 4. 28 over 4 is 7, and 6D over 4 is 3D over 2 when reduced. And you could write it in the other order. You could write C equals negative 3D over 2 plus 7. Solve for L means make it say L equals. So I do that, subtracting 2W from both sides, then dividing by the 2 that was in front of the L. So P minus 2W over 2 equals L, or if I broke it apart to each term, P over 2 minus W equals L. Okay, next, express the following in bracket notation. So notice with letter A that you have an or equal to on the left, so that's a bracket, and just a strictly less than, so that's a parenthesis on the right. In the graph, they're both filled in, so they're both brackets. Remember, a bracket says you are allowed to equal it. If you notice, if you take the line across the top, horizontal lines, top and bottom, that makes an equal sign, so that's a nice reminder. Number 4, solve the inequality. Remember, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to change the direction of the inequality, which is changing the inequality. Add 4 to both sides. Negative 4b is greater than or equal to 24. Divide by negative 4, switch that inequality. B is less than or equal to negative 6. You switch it because you're negating the inequality also. If it was a greater than and you negate it, it becomes a less than. Letter B, subtract 2 from both sides. N over 5 is less than 9. Multiply by 5, n is less than 45. And you keep it less than because you multiplied both sides by a positive. With a positive, we don't change anything, just a negative. Okay, 5, A, B, C, D. Here's a bunch of equations. We've been doing these since practically day 1. I think you're fantastic at them. Opposite side, opposite operation. Subtract the 3t. That gives me 2t minus 4 is 21. Add the 4 to both sides, which is standard two-stepper, or it's also opposite side, opposite operation with the numbers. 2t is 25, so I get t is 12.5 when I divide by 2. Next, letter B. Same side, same operation with the y's and the numbers. So I'm combining like terms here. 10y's minus 4y's is 6y's, plus a y brings us up to 7y's, and then negative 2 and negative 1 is minus 3. Add 3 to both sides, I get 14 on the right, dividing by 7, and I get y equals 2. Letter C tests to see that you remember to distribute. So 4 times 2y is 8y, 1 times 4 is 4, equals, little same side, same operation here, 3y minus 16. Minus 3y's to both sides, 5y, and then I also do the minus 4 at the same time to save room. I was at the bottom of the page. 5y is negative 20, divided by 5y is negative 4. Okay, distribute the 10 to all the terms. 10 times 3n over 2 is 3n over 5, sorry, is 6n. 10 times n over 10 is n. 10 times negative 4 is negative 40. 10 times 3.5 is 35. And then 12 times 10 is 120. Getting your like terms together, 7n minus 5, because negative 40 and 35 is minus 5, equals 120. Adding 5 to both sides, I get 7n is 125. Dividing by 7, and I get 17 and 6/7. It often works out with fractional equations that you get fractional answers. Not always, but often. Okay. The perimeter problem we've done so often during this market period. Length is 5 less than twice the width, so that's 2W minus 5. Remember, less than, switch the order. Last shall be first, first shall be last. And the perimeter is 80, and you have to find the dimensions. So let's add up all the sides. Left, top, right, bottom. Adding them all up. That's 6 W's, same side, same operation, and then negative 10. Combining like terms here, negative 5 and negative 5 is 80. Add 10 to both sides. 6W is 90. W is 15. But that doesn't finish the problem because it wants the dimensions. Oh, what is it asking for? The length will be 2 times 15 minus 5, which is 30 minus 5, or 25. Now we do a shopping problem. You've had 3 like it. So you know that on this final somewhere, you're going to have to compare some kind of results of something and see which one is either the greatest or the least. Jenna takes this item for $32, gets it for 30% off. Jim 15 and an additional 15, and Jolene for 2/7 off. So if I do 30% of 100, I could have done 70 and left it as an answer, but I did 30 and I'll subtract it. Cross multiplication, 100n equals 960. I get n is 96, and then I got to do 32 minus 960. I think I said 36, but anyway, n equals $9.60. 32 minus 960 is 22.40. Jim does 15 and 15. So his I did the other way, where you go right to the 85% that remains over 100 equals n out of the original 32. Cross multiplying, 100n equals 27.20. Dividing by 100, and I get $27.20. Now I got to do 85% of that for the additional 15%. I get 100n equals, it looks like 23.12. Dividing by 100, I get $23.12. That's a little bit more than Jenna found it for. So far Jenna's doing the best. Jolene's 2/7 off. So if 2/7 is off, 5/7 is spent. 32 times 5 divided by 7 is 22.86. Slightly, she's in between Jenna and Jim, so Jenna has the best price. Jenna it is. Number 7, surveyor's map. I mentioned that you will have something with about a map on your final exam. And on the final exam, I went back and I added a diagram to lend clarity to the problem. For now, if you're a little confused, I don't blame you. I did a terrible job with this. If you're a little bit confused, just go with this diagram right here. Pause this video now, solve the problem on your own, and then come back to it. This is 2n, this is 3n plus 3, and this is 4n minus 12. Adding them all up, 2n and 3n is 5n, and 4n's make 9n. 3 and negative 12 makes negative 9, and the 3 angles of a triangle always add up to 180. Adding 9 to both sides, 9n is 189. Dividing by 9, n is 21. But it wants the measure of the angle between the shed and tree A, and that's this angle down here. So it's 4 times 21 minus 12, which is 76. Okay. Legs of an isosceles triangle. Remember, the legs of an isosceles triangle are equal. So if they're represented by 6n minus 11 and 4n plus 21, I don't care what the base is. It has nothing to do with the equality relationship going on here. 6n minus 11 equals 4n plus 21. Subtract 4n from both sides. Add 11 to both sides. I get 2n equals 32. So n is 16. How long's one of the legs? I tested both sides, but they work out to be the same at 85. 6 times 16 is 96. Minus 11 is 85. Big triangle. All right, now, some word problems over here on the 3rd page. Twice the sum of a number and 5 is 38. So there's your sum of a number and 5, like we talked about before. Twice is 2 times. Distribute 2n plus 10 is 38. Minus 10 from both sides, 2n is 28. N is 14. 3 times a number decreased by 14 is 13. Add 14 to both sides, 3n is 27. Dividing by 3, n is 9. Okay. Finding 4 consecutive integers. 4 consecutive integers are n, n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3. You know me, I like writing this word phrase out here. It takes the mystery out of word problems, breaks it down into something step by step. The sum of the first 2 plus twice the third. Here's your third one. There it is, twice the third. Plus 3 times the fourth. There's your fourth one. Is 91. Here were the first 2, by the way. So there's your sum of the first 2. So now distributing the 2, I get 2n plus 4. Distributing the 3, I get 3n plus 9. a little bit of combined like terms here. 1n, 2n, 4n, 7n. 1 and 4 is 5, and 9 is 14. Someone just shot a gun in the woods, so the dogs are barking. Sorry about that. Is 91. Hush! Minus 14 from both sides. 7n is 77. Dividing by 7n is 11. So the 4 consecutive integers are 11, 12, 13, and 14. Number 11, now they want 3 consecutive odd integers. And let me just pause, peek ahead to number 12. They want 3 consecutive even integers. The setups are the same, whether it's consecutive odd or consecutive even. Number 11, it says twice the first plus 3 times the third is 17 more than twice the second. So I always like to write that phraseology out and then just follow it step by step. Twice the first, that's 2n. 3 times the third is 3 times n plus 4. Twice the second is 2 times n plus 2. And then 17 more than that, plus 17. Just do some algebra now. Same side, same operation, combining like terms. 5n plus 12 equals, in this case, my combining like terms is 4 and 17 to make 21. 2n plus 21. Subtracting the 2n, that gets me 3n. Subtracting the 12 gets me 9. 3n is 9. Dividing by 3, n is 3. So my consecutive odd integers are 3, 5, and 7. Number 12. This time it says, we already did the 3 consecutive even integers. It says such that 2 times the first, there it is, plus 3 times the second, there it is, plus 3 times the third, oop, there it is, right, equals 178. 2 times the first is 2n, 3 times the second is 3n plus 2, 3 times the third is 3n plus 4. Distribute 3n plus 6, 3n plus 12, add in that 2n in the beginning. Same side, same operation, combine like terms, that's 8 n's, 5, 2, 3, 3 is 8 n's. 6 and 12 make 18. Subtract 18 from both sides to get 160. Dividing by 8, n equals 20. That gives me 22. 20, 22, and 24. But it wants the largest integer, which is 24. Okay. Area of a rectangle can be represented by 15x plus 25, which can represent the sides. Well, remember, area is length times width. So let's just factor it out. They share a 5 in common. I factor it out. I get 5 times 3x plus 5. It's just checking back. 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times 5 is 25. And then, so those are the length and the width. Factor using the greatest common factor. Well, they share a 10 in common and they share an x. You have to pull out the greatest common factor. Lots of things they share in common. 10x, when I factor it out, I'm left with 2 minus 5x. Multiply back. 10x times 2 is 20x. 10x times negative 5x is negative 50x squared. Okay, next up, we'll begin with sheet video 2.